Buddy, happy Monday. Happy last day of the month. Happy last day of the quarter. Q2. Tomorrow is Q3 for stocks, that is.
Yeah.
Crypto doesn't care about that kind of
Woohoo.
stuff. But yeah, good things to come. Let's see. You're pretty optimistic for the rest of the year, Tracker?
Oh yeah. Well, even more so. I'm really excited because it really looks like Bitcoin is starting to take off, and hopefully will lead the way for all the altcoins as well. And some of the altcoins. I mean, XRP had a really nice weekend too. But let's take it away with the indices, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's jump right in here. So this is the last trading day of June, and we can see it is kind of gapping up again pre-market. But I think it was kind of expected because we closed at all-time highs, right? On Friday,
Yeah.
the SPX, SPY closed at all-time highs, which usually leads to some kind of continuation higher, and that's what we're seeing here. So now still looking at 613.23 as your support zone with that potential to carry on. All this fear was for nothing because it recovered very, very nicely. And 613.23 is the target to stay above. And QQQ, same situation, closed at all-time highs on Friday. Actually, it started closing all-time highs before that, basically on Wednesday of
Mhm.
last week, then Thursday, then Friday, and then now on Monday, we're gapping up again day over day, and we have the potential to even go up to the 1.272, the 578.46 up there. But what's important now is just stabilizing on top of this 540 for that potential to continue that journey higher. IWM, this is basically still at resistance, the 217. Pre-market, it is right underneath it as well. So that's going to be something to look at to break above in order to get a lot more bullish. And right now, it's not breaking any kind of resistance. We can go to the weekly chart too, just to see that it closed right underneath the weekly cloud and that 217. So still is looking to break out. Not yet, but it is getting better and better because support is holding and each level is breaking one resistance level and flipping it to a support at a time. So that's the next level, 217. Maybe get inside the cloud this week. That would be great inside this weekly cloud for the potential to carry its journey higher. And I can just take a look here at Bitcoin just to see what it's doing. And Bitcoin is essentially just stuck in a zone, right? We can just use the Ichimoku to see that it did finally close the week back above that conversion line. It did open it up this last week below it, so there was some suspicion maybe it's going to go retest levels, but no, it just opened lower, and it was the second highest weekly candle close ever. The first one was this one right here back in May, and we're looking at a monthly close for Bitcoin, possibly the highest monthly candle close ever. So this would be a bullish development for Bitcoin, and it actually would have potential to break out the following month as well, because I think we're going to see just more continuation with all these wicks getting kind of eaten up, right? All these wicks were basically resistance, but now we're closing bodies of the candle inside those wicks. So this is no longer looking like any kind of distribution. This could be ready to continue higher.
And even that monthly Ichimoku, the gap is opening up again between the conversion and baseline on the monthly chart.
Yes, that is correct. It should be rising next month though, because it's the high and the low of the past 9 candles. So I think this one's going to get erased. So it might be rising a little bit. So we'll find out.
Yes.
But Tracker, off to you.
All right. I just want to start with a quick look at the VIX, then I'll take off with the Bitcoin, my shorter degree chart. Thanks, Matt. All right, so here's my chart. So I was thinking that maybe we had this, actually even started drawing a trend line. We had this trend line here that we've been following as resistance, kind of to try to spook you, but then we're back under it again, gaps down. And I was thinking maybe we might even return to it again, but now I think I'm scrapping this idea. Instead of coming back to this line again, actually, I don't need to get rid of it. Maybe there's a new sub trend line right here, this one to this one. So this might be the melt up path that we follow now for the VIX, and we'll just get lower and lower and lower VIX as prices go higher and higher. Yeah, and then look for some crosses, some scary looking crosses above this line, then back lower. But just remember, as long This is like an accelerometer. As long as you're below the greed level on the VIX, prices just keep going up and up. So there we go. VIX looks really good. Bitcoin. I've been blasting out this chart every weekend, all weekend long. This weekend too. The previous all-time high is 112,000, and basically, this doesn't look like the same chart. Hang on a second. Let me just reload the. I don't know why. Sometimes I do stuff on my phone, and then I forgot to update. I forgot to reload my stuff here. There we go. So this is how I did it on my phone. Yeah, I think it doesn't have to go down this low anymore. It's just we already back tested this 786 at 107,574. I think it wants to go to this 141 at 109,874 to 109,877, and then back to retest this 100% fib level right here, 108,358, and then on to, and of course this will have like 5 waves up, but 119,710 is my next target for Bitcoin. So yeah, and then all this. So I think I told you, or I posted a post. I asked Rock, at what point, what price does Bitcoin have to reach to move the needle on MicroStrategy? And the number it came up with was 120,000. So as Bitcoin approaches 120,000, MicroStrategy should really start to move again, and then everything else too. And like you saw, Coinbase is already kind of front run it a little bit. Here's my Coinbase chart. I think. Like Matt said on last week, it's very likely that this 786 at 344.37 could be support. There's a conversion line. So that might be it, and that might take it up from here. However, coin did run hotter and faster than other things. Usually at this point in my charts, after the 764, it does usually go to the 382. In fact, I should just be brave enough to put this here and say, this is usually where it goes after hitting a 764. Goes to my 382 down here at 260.11. So I just want to say, I'm not saying it's going there, but it could. And then let's do my Tesla chart, right? Tesla, TSLA. And Tesla has been trading in an excitingly boring range, right? They're sort of stuck here. Between 305, well above 305, but can't get much higher than 362. We're still in that range right now. But on the, let's see, 8-hour chart, Ichimoku support, 16-hour chart. Oh, here we go. The 16-hour, I've moved to just doing 16-hour charts a lot now. I like this. And here's the 16-hour baseline, and that is, it was oscillation, took off, came back to test for oscillation, and we're still just above it right now. So anyway, I think what I really need to look at is show you the Bollinger Bands, that they are starting to get a little tighter. And once they squeeze together enough, then they can push price up higher. And so I don't know, we're waiting for, we'll get deliveries on the 2nd, on Wednesday. And then there's, the Q2 quarterly report on the 17th, I think. Oh, it's not going to show up here. Anyway, back to you, Matt. I'll look up that date. You guys know what the date is. My brain forgot momentarily.
Yes. So just checking on my Tesla chart here. We're going to look at the weekly chart. And here we go. So yeah, the weekly GAN here is basically just stuck on a resistance, and we've known that for a while. So we're going to be just checking out the Ichimoku indicators here, and just see how it's basically inside the cloud. So I am watching that. I'm still watching that 321 too. If you guys remember, just from the high back in 2021 to the low in 2023, right? Still watching this 702, the 321.32. Nothing has changed. The conversion line is going to be down there still at 319.25. So basically, this is still a very big support zone, even though up above is still a very big resistance zone. But it's looking like it is consolidating in a nice area. So I do like it here. I do like it even a little bit lower if it did go there. But it's never a guarantee to go back down. But it is maintaining inside the cloud. And the bottom of the cloud is around 313. So I'll be watching that. But honestly, I think this whole zone, the 321, 319, still looks pretty powerful. Still looks very nice as support. So I'll be watching that for the potential to continue higher. And I can go show my Coinbase chart too, just for everybody. And Coinbase is looking like it has potential to continue the journey higher. But last week did turn into a big wick up top. So I'm not convinced that it wants to break out yet. So I'm kind of looking for a back test, maybe right down here, right, with this previous high around 339, 340. That's what I'm looking at. So I think if it does go back down to back test that at least at a minimum, then I think that could be good enough to continue the journey higher. I'm not convinced yet that it wants to just keep exploding higher because of last week's candle just turned into a long upper wick, just indicates a lot of selling pressure up there. So I suspect anything in the 360s could be sold off as well. So I'm not going to just go, yes, it's going to go to all-time highs right now. No, I just think it might retrace first and then probably go to all-time highs. So just a little bit of patience here, and I don't like to chase. And I think right now would be chasing if you were to try to enter at these prices. And let's start the request here with Mara. Is it still alive? I mean, of course Mara is still alive. First of all, it gapped up. Not gapped up. First of all, it closed last week back above the conversion line. But when you're looking at monthly candles from Mara, it's been alive forever. It's stabilizing month over month over month on top of the 100-month moving average. So this is a very good development on the high time frame. You can just see it's a massive breakout from the $9 here, big rejection up here, and now it's just finding a higher low on a high time frame. So it's been alive. It's just been depressing a lot of people because people want to make the money quickly instead of over time. But this has been proven to be a very good accumulation zone every time it goes back down to that 100-month moving average. And now the potential to go higher is there. And then the next monthly target would be the 50-month moving average in the 18s and the 618 at the 1955. So yes, all the Bitcoin miners are very much alive, even the ones that you hate the most. All right. All right. Go ahead, Tracker.
Let's see. Do you want to see if things that are backtesting? Do you want to show your Palantir chart real quick?
Yeah, I think you.
Because that took a hit.
I think you stopped sharing your screen too, by the way.
Yeah, I had to restart my trading view.
All right, Palantir. Yeah,
it was active.
I actually have a few things Palantir that I'm looking at, and the zone really. I did a video about it on Friday with we are on Saturday, the weekly update, so you guys can get more detail with that. But essentially, this 126, 125, 124, I think that zone is looking likely for a support. And also, it would be kind of like if it went to go back test this previous high down there, that's also around maybe 120, right? Around 120. So I think there is a potential to retest this previous high again, just like what I was talking about for Coinbase. So I think it's in a nice zone. Yes, it is above pre-market, but I don't know if I like that above it is green pre-market because it's just going right back to a resistance zone. And if you go to the high time frame, resistance was hit, right? Resistance was hit. The 3.618, the 147.31, it got nailed. And that just means that maybe some cooling off time. Don't get overly excited when it's green pre-market because resistance already got hit. So I expect probably maybe just going back a little bit higher, maybe get rejected, then rolling over a little bit down to like 126, maybe even 120s. Who knows? But this is going to be a very good support zone, I think, for the potential to break free and go to the 150s and the 170s above.
Yeah, and in general out there, if you guys are doing charting at home, I'd recommend whenever you see any fib that ends in 618, expect that could be significant resistance, especially the 1618s, 2618s, 3618s, etc.
Yep.
Just a tip from your old pal Tracker here. All right, I can show my Palantir chart. And here I've got, here's my 1, 2, 125, 41 to 67, 15, which then leads me to say that it hit the 764. And usually at this point in the chart, what just happened? Stop sharing my screen. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
My trading view just closed. Oh no, aliens took my trading view. I'm loading back up. Why don't you do something else while my trading view reloads? That was stupid the last time.
So I see.
Stupidly slow.
I'll just jump on the MSTR train now that we can see. Oh, not NSTR. What the heck am I doing? MSTR. So I think it could be ready pretty soon, right? Could be ready pretty soon. We could see that price is going to be maybe going up a little bit into close to the 390s pre-market. So we'll see how it reacts to this conversion line when it opens. But it's just basically been range bound. Even without any indicators on the screen, you can see that since this candle right here back in May 19th, it's just been trading sideways for over a month. And that just kind of means that it's just consolidating, almost getting ready to continue the journey higher. And it almost even touched the cloud last week, but not quite, just got really, really close. So I think, yeah, the stage is being set for the push higher. And what's going to take is breaking above that conversion line to take it to the 441 and then the 426 above. So, sorry, the 4.26 above. 4.236, which is at 514. And these are linear scale fibs here, but on log scale, that gets a little bit different numbers here. 542 is the next big resistance up there, but there is going to be some resistance here around the 441 linear scale. As you can see in the past, it kind of got blocked there as well. So 441 all the way up to the 542 is going to be your next resistance zone. Once it can really start to break above this conversion line and make a higher high from these 430s right here. So good developments here for MicroStrategy. Is it ready to continue the journey higher? I think soon, maybe next month, maybe the month after, but I think it is going to be ready to go towards all-time highs. So it's going to be very, very enjoyable for a lot of people, I think.
And as you can see, Matt, my trading view is still loading, so just keep going. But thanks, King Size Smile, for my shout out to big thank you to Tracker for his passionate encouragement to pick up some BBAI, BTBT, SNPX, and XXRP. All are up more than 5,000 pre-market today for his positions.
Nice.
And you're very welcome. I like all those tickers very much. I'm in each of those. Big Bear AI, BTBT, SNPX is a crazy new one that one of my subscribers asked me to chart, and I said, "Oh, I like this chart. I'm buying it." And then XXRP is a 2x ETF of XRP that you can get even in your 401k like me.
All right. So yes, I'll do Adobe real quick. And Adobe, I can show you that it is holding the 100-month moving average as a support just barely. And then the 382 is right there at 392. So these are monthly candles, and today is the monthly candle close. So it's going to be interesting to see how Adobe closes. And do I like this chart? Not really anymore, right? I don't. And the reason why is it lost the monthly cloud, and it lost my green Gann level right here. This is my green Gann level, and that's really at 427. So losing that on the high time frame just indicates to me that there's a risk of becoming a bearish chart. And I think it might start losing this 100-month moving average, maybe even the 342, maybe even go back to retest this low down here, the 274. So I don't like things that lose the monthly cloud for an extended period of time. Right here it was quick, right? It lost the cloud quickly, and it hit the arc, and it hit some support, so it just bounced nicely. But now we're spending the past 4 months below. It even came back up and flipped the cloud to a resistance, confirmed it really last month, or this current month. And if we don't close above the 392.60 for Adobe, I think there's a risk to go lower, but we'll see. We'll see if there could be some momentum today to close the candle back above, maybe stabilize above that 392, and then continue the journey back to the 420s and the 430s above. But ultimately, I would like to see stabilization above this 392 in preparation to go higher, right? That's what I want to see right now for Adobe. Otherwise, there's a risk of going lower. So 392.60 is kind of my line in the sand to stay above, right? Stay above that. It has a chance. Stay below it. There's more of a risk to go lower.
It makes sense too. Just this idea that Adobe, they have a really expensive monthly or annual subscription model now, and AI can do a lot of what people used to use Adobe products for. Anyway. AI might be edging Adobe out. They might have to pivot to their own AI solutions. I do have my charts back. If you could flip to me, Matt, I'll pick up where I left off before I got, oh no. Palantir, so like I said, it did hit my 764 fib. So typically at this point in the chart is when it would go back to the 382. So it does look like it's going to have to test 125.41. And if that can be hold support, then maybe this turns into like a giant mega cap kind of chart where it just doesn't always do these big moves back. But, it was nice and even here, kind of one way of looking at it. Then a big wide move, and then it's nice and even here. Maybe it's time for a big wide move again to give it enough oomph to go higher. But that's pretty much it. Regardless of where we test back into, I mean, it'd be pretty. It's either an 8% test back or like a 20% test back. Actually, from where we are right now in pre-market, 22% test back. But I do see Palantir moving on to highs over 200, like 214 to 210 for my wave 3 target, and then actually to the 300s for my wave 5 target. And that's Palantir. Let's see. You did all the coin, Palantir, Micro. Oh, did we do MicroStrategy? We didn't really do. We talked about it, but we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
You did. I'm sorry. I was obsessed with my screens that were loading. Yeah, MicroStrategy, I think it's already hit support here. My ideal support, 382.236. So my next target's the 1236, way up here at 886.04. That's the move I've been waiting for MicroStrategy to move to make. Be 129% higher from where price was last time I updated that. And we did that. Let me just, let's see. Rocket Lab. I think Rocket Lab is still, I think that's testing resistances. Supports next. Yeah, Rocket Lab hit the 764 fib from my 1-2 and the smaller degree 1. So again, at this point in the chart is when it would usually go to the 382. So my target for this is about $27 to $25. Really what I do now is I'd say it's either $26.95, which is the 702. Why is that? Oh, this 78. Maybe the 786, $26.95 to this 382, $25.36. I really should have said $24.44 to $25.36 right here. So anyway, we're looking at a potential correction of about it's the wrong chart type. Go away. I was drawing charts this morning and my tools are a little bit price, not time. Yeah, 30% up, 30% correction for Rocket Lab. So look out for that. And then I'll look at BK. Oh, TEM. I've got TEM chart. And I'll look at BKSY in a second. TEM, it probably wants to continue going higher to the $76.78. That's almost enough, though. It's tough. It's either going to go, well, it's already come back down so far. It either goes 22% higher to then hit $76.78, or it just moves a scant 10% lower to my 57.17 support, and then it can go on into wave 3, which would take it, another 84% higher to $121 just about for TEM. And then I'll do Zeta, and then I'll hand it back to you, Matt, and I'll get that other chart request ready. Zeta Global Holdings. This one, I like this one. I had a position, and then I think I decided it was going to take too long, and so I changed it to something else. But I like this chart from 11.17. I think it wants to go to at least 26.59, maybe even $27.70 next. So this is my thing right here. That's about 80% higher to keep going up that way. I did write this note. Look out if it can't get back over $15.77. If it can't get over the 618 right now, then it would send it back down to this 236 right here at 1264. So that's your downside risk, and you can see the Ichimoku clouds on the 16-hour chart are hanging around down there. So there you go, Zeta, and back to you, Matt.
Yes. Let's go take a look here. Some more requests. Coin ready to rip faces. We already talked about coin.
MRAL is on the MRAL is in the, oh, that's Mara twice.
Yeah,
it's 2x Mara.
Yeah, I'll do. Actually, I'll do Rivian because I haven't charted Rivian in a while.
Yeah. The chart's looking better for Rivian, actually. I'm actually
it's looking a lot better. And for Rivian here, I can just show you that price is basically almost ready to break free of the Ichimoku cloud, the weekly cloud. So it could be opening up right on the cloud right here. And if so, I mean, it could stabilize above this 1350s zone and go back up to the 1440s and the 1484 and maybe even the 1708 up here. So something that has not been on top of the weekly Ichimoku cloud in forever. Actually, ever and ever and ever, never, right? It never has. So something that has that potential is actually looking more bullish. So I think we're going to get to see some better price action for Rivian. I think some higher lows have already been established since the April 24 bottom, right? And nice higher lows. We just don't have any higher highs yet. But I think once we do develop a higher high here for Rivian, maybe even close above that 1708, then I think the real uptrend can begin. But it looks like this 1350 down to the 1290 zone right here has been a good support, and I think it is still going to continue to be a good support. So Rivian, yes, it actually looks like a chart that's investable now for the future because it looks like there could be some good things coming. So this is an example of the charts first, and maybe the news will come later about what's happening, but this is something that has potential now for Rivian. And also do BABA here as well. And BABA, we can see that price is also going back down to the 382 and this 111 right here. That 111 fib, I like it, right? It's a breakout, a big back test of the cloud already. So now we're just consolidating on top of this 111. So I think maybe just a few more weeks until we get closer to the weekly cloud here. And then I think it'll make its journey higher. So yes, BABA looks good. It's consolidating. It's a nice support zone right now. And there's even more support if it chose to go back lower. But I do think this zone has potential to hold right now at 111. Tracker.
All right. Yep. I can take over here. I'm going to do blue sky in just a second. Well, actually, no, I'll do blue sky now. Then I'll come back to IREN. I'm sorry, black sky, not blue sky. Black sky technology, my larger degree chart, just for the wave one, I'm thinking $55.77, which is rocking 184% higher from our prices right now. But I went ahead and dropped this fib extension on just this little bit of price action right now. So there's two ways of interpreting this. The first is that it's already done a 764. Let's see from right here. 764, and once you go back to the 16-hour Ichimoku cloud, does support that idea. Then from the 382 goes to the 1382, back to the 100, and then the 2382. That's the first interpretation, where it goes to $49.30. So that would be at resistance now, and it goes back to 1308. The second interpretation is that it did the 382 right here to the 236. And so the next target is the 1236, which would mean that price is going to keep going to $28.54, if that's true, test back to where it is now at $20, and then go to the 2236 up here at $46.65. Let me just change the color on this a little bit for you. Get out of my way. And then I think this color is fine. All right, so you can take a screenshot of that if you want. So it's going to follow the purple path or the black path. Black path takes it down next. Purple path takes it up next. And that's all I can say about that. Probably, I guess the top of this will, I don't know. Sometimes when this doesn't quite reach that, I think that maybe it's going to get, maybe something will happen here that like the wave four doesn't hold up, and this becomes a 1-2, and then that makes the wave 3 take it up to here. So anyway, black sky might have some more surprises in store. It's not a clear picture right now, but over the long term, it's going to be really good, I think. And then IREN more critically today, is it at resistance now? And this is what happened just in the pre-market this morning. When you asked me Friday, I told you that it was at resistance at the 618 at 1433. Now it's wicked not just above the 1433, but it wicked and it still have candle body over the fib retracement at 1464, which makes me think it wants to go to the 764 next. So I think 1651 is now the next target for IREN. Yes, that could happen today. So if you're gonna ride the waves and flip and trade in and out of this, 1651 is your target. Possibly 1785, but I trust this a lot more. The 1651. Then it goes back to the 382 at 1082. They could possibly hold the top of this blue zone, 1142 as support, and then it just keeps on going, keeps on rocking higher. So IREN looks really good. I did sell it Friday. I'm not going to chase that. I will buy it when it tests back down here And then hopefully that'll be the last time I trade in that out of it. I'll just try to be like Matt, buy it and hold it. Speaking of Matt,
It's so
back
hard
to you,
for you
Matt.
though.
It
It's so
is
hard
hard
for
to
you.
do when I can see that it's going to go lower. I have to
Yeah, but
sell it.
that's who cares. Did you just buy more and then you accumulate, and then you have a bigger position to benefit from the
Yeah,
larger
that's true.
rises?
I need to get out of my paycheck to paycheck mentality on
Yeah.
buying stocks.
All right. ACHR. Sure, I'll do that one. Yeah, it's still stuck under the 786. So you got the 1103 as a big, powerful resistance. Also, the conversion line is right there at 1103 as well. So is it going to be able to break above this week? We'll find out. But I want to just kind of see this arc hold as a support. You can see right here it got rejected, rejected. So now it's actually trying to flip the top arc to a support. So if that does stay as a support, I think it'll gradually gravitate to the 786 and go higher. So that bottom arc is around 1019 or so. But, it still has never really even touched the weekly cloud since it broke out back in November of 2024. So we could just be looking at a long sideways consolidation, maybe just drifting lower a little bit until it gets closer to the cloud before breaking out. So I'm kind of like more cautious in this range on the high time frame, simply because it's proving that it doesn't really want to break above this 1103. So until that trend changes, I just am going to say it's range bound, basically between the $10 zone and the $11 zone, maybe even with some wicks into the nines or so, until it's ready to go higher. So this is range bound, and this is a massive resistance that it must break in order to tackle the $14 resistance above.
All right. I've got probably the same message on ACHR, but just with a slightly more bullish eventual twist. So here's my 16-hour chart on ACHR. And yeah, it got rejected by the blue band up here. It just touched the 786 and then couldn't make any higher high. So it got sent back down to the 50% level. And 50% level looked weak. It lost it. Couldn't get over the 618. Now, this is what can happen. Either it'll get one more test of the 50%. Well, I'm actually just going to test up now. You'll try to get above $11. If it can't get above $11 at the 618, it's going to send it back down to the 382, which is 887 down here, like Matt was talking about. But that should hold. So either way, either it gets over, if it get over $11, it goes to 1342 next. If it can't get over $11, it goes to $8.87, and then goes to 1342. So there you go. That's pretty much it. It's sort of stuck under resistance right now, but once it gets over that resistance, it should keep going higher. 106% from where my cost basis was, 92%. Let's see, from the 382 to that wave 3, it'd be 128% from here to there. Anyway, it's not in my top 10 list by any means, but it was one that I kind of told people publicly, hey, it was doing this thing and it was good to get in, and now it's be support testing for a little bit. We did the Circle. I don't think Circle's had a chance to change from Friday. Right. I said Circle Internet probably wanted to keep testing supports. Now it is holding the 50% fib level right there at 181.50. So if it can keep holding 181.50, then it will make a new higher high. It'll probably get back up into this blue band and retest 272.20. And if it can stay up there, then it keeps going. But if it can't get over 272, it's probably going to get sent all the way back down to this 27. Where's that thing? TGM left. The 29.7 at 133.87. So Circle has the caution flag right now, I'd say. NNE. I got this one ready too. Energy, guys. Nuclear energy is going to be huge. And you can already see the bill that's going out right now is trying to kill solar. And Elon put a post how this is really bad for America if they try to kill solar. But I think a lot of dollars are going into it's like the people in the government are trying to push nuclear. And so anyway, nuclear charts are pretty hot. I see NNE going to $74.96 next. That's 111% higher from where it is right now. Contrasting that, SMR, I think it already front ran it, and it hit resistance up here. It hit the 141, so it probably just needs to come back to this. Watch for it to come all the way back down to retest 32.97, or this Ichimoku baseline on the 16-hour chart. Usually after the 786, though, it would come down to the 382 at 28.44. So SMR you want to be out of, but NNE I think you want to be in. And then, of course, there's also UEC, which is Uranium Energy Corporation. They simply supply uranium, which all the plants need to run. The 1-2 is done. UEC is headed for $14.44 next, or about 112% higher from where prices now. Just look out when it gets to 1070. That's going to be resistance, and then 1164 will be enough resistance actually to send it back down to the 100%. So it's probably going to do this, that, and then that. So there you go. Oops. That's my UEC chart. Wait, let me show you where you are right now. All right. Oh, gosh, it's 9:06. All right, tell us how are we ending this thing? Oh, can we do XRP, please? XRP?
Well, I'll do SoFi, and I'll just do. There's no change with XRP, but I'll do both. So SoFi, I was going to just do this one just to show you that it broke above the ARC last week. And because of that, it broke resistance, and now we're seeing continuation higher. So perhaps the 786 fib could be next, 1883. So this actually is a very beautiful chart. And once it gets above this big resistance, then I think it'll be all-time highs. And all-time highs are still way up here in the 28, 26. So another beautiful chart that a lot of people gave up on a long time ago. But I think what we're seeing now is the chance to get a little bit more exciting, but still resistance is above. So the opportunities were plentiful back at support zones, but now that it's getting closer to resistance, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious up here, especially the previous high wick up here is around 1842, just right before that 786. So it might be running into some difficulties up here, but if it does back test the ARC or just a little bit lower, maybe the $16 range, 1675, 1606, I think that could be the opportunity before it really wants to break resistance above. And XRP, sure, there's no change with this one at all. On the high time frame, it still is stuck under major resistance, like the 225.877 and the conversion line 228 right there is your resistance. It's getting really close to the cloud, so maybe it might be time this week, next week to make a move, right? Maybe we'll see this break out. So we'll see. Maybe not this week, maybe next week. But on linear scale, I'm still watching the 209 as support right here, the 618, 209, 345. So this is basically just holding that 209 the majority of the time. You can just go back to December of last year. It's been holding that 209. Just a few weeks have only closed below it. So that's our high. That's really our high time frame support. So it's basically range bound, looking for direction.
Do you think it needs one more perfect touch of 209 before it can go on higher?
It's possible. And next week, 209 and the cloud exist around the same level. So we could see one more dip down there. So it's not looking ready to break out just yet, but I think just give it time and it will. And it's still below the conversion and the baseline too. So just sideways action in the meantime. So patience with XRP as usual. So with that, guys,
I've been patient for so long.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people without patience usually give up too soon, right before a monster rally. So gotta have that patience. Gotta have it.
All right. If you're about to sign us off, I'll just say Soundhound looks good from here, 51% higher to reach my 38.2% at minimum, $15.26. That's at minimum. It could keep going higher, but that's all. I'll let you close up shop and we'll do a triumvirate show tomorrow night, and I'll talk more about XRP and my short-term chart.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a great rest of June today.
Yeah, rest of June today.
All right.